Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. So as you can probably see by the title and probably the reason you clicked on this video, today's video is going to be the 10 books that I want to read this summer and just a little bit of a book haul. So I have never made a book video here on YouTube. I've been making YouTube videos for quite a good amount of years, and I recently got super into reading lately, and it just makes me so happy. I also have a baby Amelia, so a lot of my videos are kind of pertaining more so to motherhood, parenting, just fun stuff like that. But reading has become the thing that I really like to enjoy just in my free time. So I've been getting super into like BookTube, Bookstagram, BookTok, and have all of these book recommendations just from my favorite booktubers. So over the last probably month or so, I've purchased quite the collection of books, and I realized they're all kind of summer vibes. So I thought today's video would be the perfect start to maybe doing some book videos on my channel. I thought I could do more so of like a summer reads book haul. So we'll just go through these books. A lot of these are really hyped, and I'm super excited to read them. And sorry if you hear anything in the background. I just put Amelia in her crib, so she's just kind of playing in there. She's a really good independent player. And also my dog Blair barks a lot, so there's that. I also have my Thai tea with me. I have become obsessed with Thai tea as well. So good. So let's get started. So I have this cart right here with all of the books that I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So we'll just go ahead and get started with the first one here. This book I'm really excited to read, and it is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by the same author probably a year or two ago, and I really enjoyed that book. I do want to reread it because it's been a little bit and I don't remember everything from it, but I really liked it at the time. I'm excited to read another one of her books. I will say I listened to the Daisy Jones and the Six audiobook when I was going on like a road trip with my husband, and I did not enjoy that at all. It just was not my vibe. I was not into like the 70s, the like band, rock, drugs, sex thing. I just was not into that at all. So I just thoroughly did not enjoy that, and I did not finish the book. I had it with Audible, so I returned it and got a different one. But this one I am very excited for. This book is based in the summer of the 1980s in Malibu, and it's about Nina and her family, and they have this big party like every summer, and I think that their family is kind of like famous and well known, so it's this huge party. It just sounds super interesting. It's the end of Nina Riva's annual end of party summer, and anticipation is at fever pitch. Everyone wants to be around famous Rivas. Nina, this talented surfer and supermodel. Brothers Jay and Hud, one a championship surfer, the other a renowned photographer, and their adored baby sister Kit. Together, the siblings are a source of fascination, especially as the offspring of the legendary singer Mick Riva. This just has all the summer vibes. The cover is absolutely just beautiful, and I am very excited to be reading this. This is definitely one I'm going to be bringing on vacation with me. We're planning on going to Gulf Shores next week, and I have like 5 books that I want to bring, so that'll take up a load in my carry-on, but I can't pick which one, so I'm going to bring a lot. The next book here, I just really was drawn to. I don't know if it necessarily gives that like summer vibe, but this is called The Stand-In by Lily Chu, and I saw this when I was at Barnes & Noble the other day, and I never had heard of it. I never seen anybody talk about it on YouTube or Book Talk, but I saw it in Barnes & Noble, and I read the back of it, and I was fascinated. I didn't get it there because Barnes & Noble is just overpriced, but then I went to Target yesterday, and I saw this at Target, and I was like, okay, this is a sign. I need this book. So, just a little synopsis. It says, Gracie Reed is doing just fine. Sure, she was fired by her overly friendly boss, and no, she hasn't gotten her mother into the nursing home of their dreams, but she's healthy, she's somewhat happy, and she's mostly holding it together. But when a mysterious SUV pulls up behind her, revealing Chinese cinema's golden couple, Wei Feng Lei and San Yao, Gracie's world is turned on its head. The famous actress has a proposition. Due to their uncanny resemblance, Feng Lei wants Gracie to be her stand-in. The catch, Gracie will have to be escorted by Sam, the most attractive and infuriating man Gracie's ever met. So this kind of reminded me of the Lizzie McGuire movie where Hilary Duff looked like, I forgot the girl's name, but she had to stand in for her. This just gave me that, and I loved that movie as a kid, so I really was fascinated by this. So I'm excited to read The Stand-In by Lily Chu. Okay, next book is Love and Gelato. This is by Jenna Evans Welch. And I had heard a lot of people talk about this, and obviously I'm just drawn to it, of course, because the cover is so cute. Also, I am Italian, and my family is very proud to be Italian. And I've never been to Italy, so I want to live vicariously through this book. I've heard the descriptions of Italy are so amazing, it makes you feel like you're really there. So this book is about Lena, and it was actually her mother's dying wish for her to go to Italy to visit her father. I think his name is Harry. Her dad had never been a part of her life at all, and her mom really wanted her to go to Italy and meet him, and she was confused about this, but I guess there's some like secrets along the way, and obviously she meets a boy and there's a love story, so it just kind of takes you along her journey as she gets to know her dad and this boy named Ren. So this book seems very cute, easy to read. I think it's definitely like a YA book, but I'm all for YA books. I like books that I can just quickly like flip through, feel like I'm getting through them quickly, and just kind of make me happy and feel good. So I think that's going to be this book. Tea break. Is that good? Then we have the oh so famous The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. This book has all of the summer vibes. It kind of gives you that like Visco girl vibe, and I'm really excited to just dive into this, especially on vacation. I feel like that will really be fitting. So it takes place at Martha's Vineyard, which is kind of like a rich, fancy area in the East Coast, so I'm really excited to be, in that location while I read this book. And this book is about Meredith, who recently lost her sister Claire, and she goes to visit her family for the summer. It's like their annual summer vacation, and they play assassin every year. So it just kind of takes you through this fun game with them, but obviously there's like grief and sadness in it, so it kind of brings some like depth to this book. But I'm just really excited for a fun location, something with substance, but also something really fun and lighthearted, and just really put you in that summer mood. So I think that's kind of what this whole book entails, and I love the cover. It's absolutely beautiful. It's also this like matte finish, and can I just say, I will 100% always choose the matte finish over the glossy. I don't know what about it, like, oh, I just love the feeling. I've been like that since I was like a teenager. I just love the feeling of the matte books so much. Then we have Reminders of Him by Queen Colleen Hoover. I have read a couple of Colleen Hoover's books so far. Like I said, I just recently got into reading, so I've read like Regretting You was the first one, then I read Verity, 5 stars, 100% the most crazy, amazing book ever. Then I listened to It Ends With Us, and I really did like it. I feel like I would have liked it more if I was reading it myself, but I listened through the whole thing through an audiobook, and I did really like it. I think it was like a 4 or 5 star. I think those are the only 3 that I've read. And Reminders of Him, I believe, is Colleen's newest book. This book is about Kenna, and she just got released from her 5-year sentence in prison. And this book, you're trying to figure out why she was in prison. And she's also trying to rekindle her relationship with her 4-year-old daughter. And then she meets Ledger along the way, and there's this romance that builds between them. And I've just heard this book is amazing. It's a lot of people's like top tier for Colleen Hoover. Most people rate it 5 stars, so I'm really excited to dig into this. I think I'm going to bring this with me on vacation because Colleen Hoover is like a guaranteed good book. So I don't think I'll be disappointed by this, and so I'm definitely going to bring this one. But I'm going to read like a quick synopsis because I feel like I didn't explain well. Hi! After serving 5 years in prison for a tragic mistake, Kenna Rowan returns to the town where it all went wrong, hoping to reunite with her 4-year-old daughter, but the bridges Kenna burned are proving impossible to rebuild. Everyone in her daughter's life is determined to shut Kenna out, no matter how hard she works to prove herself. The only person who hasn't closed the door on her completely is Ledger Ward, a local bar owner and one of the few remaining links to Kenna's daughter. But if anyone were to discover how Ledger is slowly becoming an important part of Kenna's life, both would risk losing the trust of everyone important to them. I'm gonna get my dog. The two form a connection despite the pressure surrounding them, but as their romance grows, so does the risk. Kenna must find a way to absolve their mistakes of her past in order to build a future out of hope and healing. Ooh, just sounds so good. So excited for this one. Then we have The Spanish Love Deception. This is by Elena Armas. And this book is about Catalina and Aaron. And this has like this fake dating trope, I think. I'm a little nervous to read this because I've heard mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people thought it was very slow because it's a very slow burn romance, so probably like 75% of the book is building the fire of the romance, but they're not actually together until the very end. So I don't know. I feel like I haven't really read any slow burn romances, so I'm not sure if that's my cup of tea or not, but I'm excited to try it. The cover, I always have to talk about the cover. I do judge a book by its cover. I really do. But this is just so beautiful. I love the coral color, and it's matte. Matte. Catalina Martin desperately needs a date to her sister's wedding, especially since her little white lie about her American boyfriend has spiraled out of control. Now everyone she knows, including her ex and his fiancé, will be there and eager to meet him. She only has 4 weeks to find someone willing to cross the Atlantic and aid in her deception. New York to Spain is no short flight, and her raucous family won't be easy to fool. Enter Aaron Blackbird, her tall, handsome, condescending colleague who surprisingly offers to step in. She'd rather refuse. Never has been a more aggravating, blood-boiling, and insufferable man. But Catalina is desperate as the wedding draws nearer. Aaron looks like her best option, and she begins to realize he might not be as terrible in the real world as he is in the office. So it's kind of like a workplace romance, grumpy sunshine, enemies to lovers, fake dating trope. Love that. I'm excited. Also, I think it's so funny. I'm using the word trope now because I remember like the first couple of booktube videos I watched, they kept saying trope, and I was like, what the heck is a trope? I had to look it up, and I was still confused. Then I finally like used context clues to realize it's like a literary concept, a common theme. So if you're confused, especially my viewers probably might not be booktube watchers. Sorry, I'm distracted by Amelia. But that's what a trope is. It's a common theme in a book. Next book, I think I may be the most excited for it, and this is no other than Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Let us take a moment. Absolutely gorgeous. Obsessed. This book is a then and now perspective, which I love. I love hearing like the before and then the now. I feel like it's easier to get through the book that way when it's that perspective, because then it really keeps you like on your toes and you just want to keep reading. So I really like that format of writing. Okay, I'm going to read it. Macy Sorensen is settling into an ambitious, if emotionally tepid, routine. Work hard as a new pediatrics resident, plan her wedding to an older, financially secure man, keep her head down and heart tucked away. But when she runs into Elliot Petropoulos, the first and only love of her life, the careful bubble she's constructed begins to dissolve. Once upon a time, Elliot was Macy's world, growing from her gangly, bookish friend into the man who coaxed her heart open again, only to break it on the very night he declared his love for her. Told in alternating timelines between then and now, teenage Elliot and Gracie grow from friends to much more, spending weekends and lazy summers together in a house outside San Francisco, devouring books, sharing favorite words, and talking through their growing pains and triumphs. As adults, they become strangers to one another until their chance reunion. Although their memories are obscured by the agony of what happened that night so many years ago, Elliot will come to understand the truth behind Macy's decade-long silence and will have to overcome the past and himself to revive her faith in the possibility of an all-consuming love. So definitely those like childhood best friends to lovers, second chance romance, takes place in the summer. I love that she is a pediatrics resident because I am a nurse and in the medical field, and I just think that's really interesting to read about. So I think this is going to be one of my new favorite books. I really hope so. I am really excited to read this, and I think it's going to be great. Can't recommend it yet, but I'm excited to try it. Then we have Hook, Line, and Sinker. This is by Tessa Bailey. I did read It Happened One Summer already, and I actually don't own that book because I rented it from the library, so I probably should buy it since I now have Hook, Line, and Sinker. But this is not the second book in the series, but they're in the same world. So It Happened One Summer was with Piper and Brendan. Piper was this like socialite in LA, and his sister is Hannah, and they are told by their father that they need to move to this fishing town. I think it's in Washington. I don't know why I can't remember correctly. But they moved to this small fishing town that is super different from what they're used to. And Piper and Brendan hit it off. You can kind of tell in that story that Hannah and Fox have a thing, but they don't obviously go into it because it's not their story. So this book is all about Hannah and Fox. And I'm really excited to read this. Brendan was more of like that grumpy, Piper was the sunshine, and I think Fox is going to be more of like upbeat, happy, kind of like flirty with Hannah. So I'm excited to read about this. These books are just super easy. They're that like small town romance, really just fun, easy reads. They're kind of cheesy, but it's good and it's easy for me to read. So excited about this one. Okay, the last two, my 9 and 10, are both by Emily Henry. I feel like Emily Henry is the queen of summer reads. So I actually have not read any of her books. These are the 2 that I own. This is Beach Read. I think I'm most excited to read this one. I honestly don't really know what it's about, so let me read. I'm just gonna read it with you guys. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens A Happily Ever After, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage. He'll take her to interview surviving members of a Blackwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book and no one will fall in love. Really? Okay. So honestly, my initial reaction after reading this was, I'm not sure what I'm going to think about it. It just didn't really seem like, it didn't draw me in that much. I got this book because I wanted a book to read on the beach. I just thought this was perfect, and a lot of people love this book. I think a lot of people really like Emily Henry. Some people don't. Her books just aren't for everybody. So we'll see if her books are for me. I'm going to bring this to the beach. I'll definitely bring other options, like I said, because I don't know if I'll like this, but I'm excited to give it a shot. Then the other Emily Henry book we have here is People We Meet on Vacation. So this one I just read and I'm more intrigued. It says Poppy and Alex. Alex and Poppy. They have nothing in common. She's a wild child. He wears khakis. She has insatiable wanderlust. He prefers to stay home with a book. And somehow, ever since a fateful car share home from college many years ago, they are the very best of friends. For most of the year, they live far apart. She's in New York City. He's in their small hometown. But every summer for a decade, they have taken one glorious week of vacation together. Until 2 years ago, when they ruined everything. They haven't spoken since. Poppy has everything she should want, but she's stuck in a rut. When someone asks when she was last truly happy, she knows without a doubt that it was on that ill-fated final trip with Alex. And so she decides to convince her best friend to take one more vacation together, lay everything on the table, make it all right, and miraculously, he agrees. So sounds like this is like a second chance romance, and I was intrigued. I am intrigued, so I'm excited to read this, and I'll definitely let you guys know what I think of Emily Henry. So, you want to come in the video? Yeah. Okay guys, so that was it for this video. Let me know if you like this and if you would like me to do more book videos. Obviously I'm going to do motherhood and videos with Amelia, vlogs and stuff like that, but like I said, it's something that I've really personally been into, and I've loved reading and just watching videos about books. So I said, why can I not make a video? So let me know if you guys would like to see this. Maybe I could do like a July, not TBR, but a July, what I read in July, and kind of go over everything and my ratings. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, and I'll see you guys whenever I see you. Okay, bye. Say bye. Can you clap? Yay! Clap, clap, clap. Can I high five? High five. High five. She doesn't really get that yet. Okay. Love you.